Hello and welcome to another video. First of all, I would like to remind you again, like every video I will, that you can still get free coaching in my Discord. Like, it's just, you just apply if you meet the conditions and you can get one free session. Other than that though, I mean, there's also the Patreon you can subscribe to and see all of the sessions, but okay, whatever. Let's get into the video. Today we're going to do a little review on how to track in the jungle better, I suppose. So I picked a random game really where I played Evelyn against Echo, and we're just gonna try to track him, right? And we're gonna try to go over all of the tricks that we can use to track him. And maybe this helps some of you with your own jungle tracking, right? So first of all, we saw that no bot lane in lane, meaning no bot lane in game, right? Oh no, wait, that means they're leashing. So you detected this guy's here. What are the most common echo paths? Okay, red, and then some kind of like a tree camp, or a tree camp here on this side of the map, or what? Most likely one of those, right? So that's gonna be what we're assuming for now. But the default assumption is going to be something like this, because this is like by far the most common. What could be the follow-up to that, right? So follow-ups after this, they can go bot lane. They could maybe go mid lane. Sorry, excuse me. I don't know what came over me. I'm getting possessed by a demon, suppose. They could go mid lane, but that's really unlikely. So most likely it's going to be one of these two types of paths. Now, another jungle trick here is timings. So we kind of figure out what time champions clear at, kinda. Remember, keyword kinda, because in lower elo, people can be late by 10, 20 seconds, right? So keep in mind, it's not always going to be the same. They can even be late by 30 seconds. So what we're really trying to figure out is how fast is this guy clearing? And if it's higher elo, then this is a pretty good tip, because, for example, 220, right? Something like this. If Evelyn is not ganking like one of these or something at like 230, 235 or something, and she's just full clearing, right? So that's an example of how you got vision without actually getting vision, because you don't really need any info. It's just like, what is this schizo gonna do? Like, what is he gonna invade me as Evelyn? Like, okay. Same thing for Echo, right? If say at 240, 250, 3 minutes, he doesn't show up anywhere, and he's for sure topside and he's just clearing, right? Like, there's no way that he's such a schizo that he would like sit here in this bush for like 40 seconds or more. I mean, it's possible, but you don't need to rely on that, on him being a schizo, and you can just assume that it's like that, and then you can adjust your evaluation of him later on. Obviously, you can also look at the elo you play and stuff and what people commonly do, but this is a general rule, kinda. So we haven't seen Echo yet, and we're also not seeing him on the ward right now. So if he doesn't show up on this ward like pretty soon, then we're gonna know that he's clearing up, either for a gank towards top lane or for some kind of full clear or something. It's 255, so most likely we're assuming that he's most likely topside then. Leona did the most pointless ward in the world because she doesn't understand this concept, right? And I don't blame her, because many of you will not. I'm sure that to many of you, tracking the enemy jungler through them not showing up on the map at certain timings is going to be completely foreign, right? But it's just something that can be done. Okay, so we keep going and we end up like here, and okay, cool, whatever. Cool. The Krugs are gone, of course, and Echo is most likely topside. Nothing to really be done here, it's just meh. But nothing to do anyway, we're just going for Scuttle. So now, at this point, we're 100% sure that Echo is here somewhere, because there's nothing else that he could have done. Because if he did anything else, then he is either trolling or AFK. Very simple deduction, right? So we know that Echo is in this bush, pretty much. Or he's here. He's one of these two bushes. There's no reason for him not to be one of those two bushes. Since she's playing kind of like this, we're like, okay, what's going on here? And okay, here I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to gank this a little bit, but I'll just like pressure gank it, whatever. Maybe I'll try to take the wave with my Katarina because she has like a kind of sizable wave, and maybe I can like help her push this out. Maybe not, who knows, we'll see. But at least I'll try something, right? But then this guy's walking really weirdly, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm getting like a charm. Maybe we can outplay it then, right? Because I'm assuming that Echo is going to W from here and try to stun us somehow. But okay, maybe we can outplay it then. And then I see this, and I'm like, oh, but I know where Echo is, right? Like, I have no worries. Like, even without this ward that I placed, and without the scuttle, I know where Echo is. I know he's here. Maybe here. I don't know why my Katarina's walking here. She just doesn't understand this, right? But with this, like, I just know this guy's ending, right? This guy doesn't care. So okay. Give it then. Somehow this ends up being a 1-for-1. Echo was actually topside, and there. Okay, cool. And then he decides to do some stuff, but Evelyn's actually not as weak as many of you might think. Like, you might think, you're like weak, but no, if you hit your Qs, you're actually pretty strong, especially in an extended fight. The main issue is that usually you play against champions that kill you 100-0 before you can do much. And you usually fight in river or something, and you can't really kite there. You don't have minions to defend you and whatever, right? So yeah. I pushed this out because it was gonna push anyway. And Echo shouldn't get too much of this, but the problem is that LeBlanc will get a lot of this, so this is actually kind of low-key end up being not so good for my Katarina in the long term because of the XP. So she does get kind of a free roam here. So now Echo is spotted here on this ward, right? And this is a really good example of the stuff I talked about where I said like, yeah, you can have really good wards after the first clear. And this is one of them, right? And this is one of the ones I listed as well. Now we just have info. Like, okay, he stayed on the map longer. He's probably like here now getting to Krugs. And most likely he will end up like jumping over to the Krugs and maybe finding the arena. Maybe not. LeBlanc jumps over. He's too late. Okay, cool. But now, because of that stuff, all of that stuff, we know that Echo isn't here. So we can gank this, right? We're completely safe in assuming that. And this guy needs to like chill a bit. Then he decides to do whatever that is, and okay, cool. I won't push this because it's gonna take me forever to push it. And if I push this and I don't crash it, it's gonna be really bad. And I don't think I can crash it in time. And also another issue is that if that guy has TP, which I didn't really pay attention to in this review. I think I paid attention in game though, and he might have it. And then even if I could crash it in time, it won't actually crash in time. So I could fuck over my laner. So now we know that Echo is most likely topside, and why is that? Because last time we saw Echo was here. And, okay, actually we don't know exactly, because the main issue with that is that if we look right here, right? Like, what did Echo do? We need to look again. So Echo appeared here, he walked like that, and what did he do? Right? That's the question of the day. So he went like this, and he went like past here, and then he went up, and he went down, and he went... Okay. So most likely he did what? He started doing his raptors now, right? So from the movement on the map, if we're just staring at the minimap, we can see, okay, so he's doing his raptors. And then what? It would be pretty good if I looked at his HP actually, but I didn't bother looking here, sadly. But based on his HP before the camp and stuff, I'm guessing he might have actually even recalled. So there are two options here. Either he recalled or he went to the Krugs. But if he went to the Krugs, then he would most likely find the Katarina or something, right? Or get spotted by the Katarina, at least when he's recalling. So because we didn't see either one of those, then I'm kind of assuming, and because the Krugs don't disappear at any point here, I'm kind of assuming that maybe he recalled and he went topside actually. Which is very possible. The Krugs didn't disappear, but he did show on the ward, right? This is another ward that I listed in that useful wards guide. So this one ends up spotting him out. So now we know exactly where he went, because before we had two options. Either he's topside and clearing towards bot lane in some way or whatever he chooses to do, or he is on Krugs. And now we know for sure he's on Krugs. And now we will kind of know his sequence for the next minute or two, because it's kind of forced, because if he doesn't want to AFK or troll, he's gonna have to do stuff, right? So now we can do this. We don't have that much prio, and okay, I didn't think I would get 6 from this, so I was going to go wolves, but I got 6, so I'm like, okay, I'll go fight then. We don't do scuttle because the echo is coming here as well, so let's fight. I go here because I'm very ahead, and also we see him there, and now this is just a free fight for us, kind of. This ends up being like a bit too fast by us. Also, my Q doesn't go on the echo instantly, and I need to focus Kaisa, so a bit unfortunate. We do get it though, and that's pretty useful for us. So okay, what do we do now? Do some stuff, whatever, but we're focused on really tracking the enemy, right? So what camps does the enemy have now? He has this red buff up, and he has like all of this up. So is he going to go to one red buff or all of this, right? Good question. What do you think? I wonder about that also. Obviously his blue doesn't appear to be up now. For some reason we got vision on that. Ah, it's because it's respawning. Right, it doesn't respawn yet, but he does have like both of these versus just a red buff, so yeah. And also this thing respawned. So it just makes more sense to go like this and go like this than the other way. Though he could obviously still adapt to that and go like red buff and then like wait for this to respawn or something stupid like that and then go like these camps and then try to play for Herald, but it's just kind of weird. My assumption was that he would do something along the other lines, and I expected to find him here. He did go red buff. Okay, cool. Here I wanted to limit test. I really wanted to know if LeBlanc actually can die here. The sad thing is that he has corrupting potion, so I need to get 2 Qs off instead of 1, sadly, because of that. But I really wanted to know if I can actually flash and Q in time. And the answer is no, because I lose range and take too much damage, so I die to the tower. Okay, now I know. That's pretty good to know. Sometimes you just limit test a bit, and then you find out. Then that's how I found out about a lot of the dives that I do, a lot of the fights that I do. I have to test it. But then since I know that Echo did red side before, and now I respawn and this blue buff isn't gone, I'm like, okay, well, most likely I can find him on this blue side, right? So what is he really gonna do about it? Not too much, right? So then these camps are up. I'm gonna make sure these camps go down. Why? Because if these camps don't go down, then first of all, I'm letting him stay in the game more. Second of all, I'm not getting a lead for myself as much. And third of all, I am giving him more options for how he can path, because there's like these camps up and then maybe like these camps respawn or something, right? So it could be annoying. I don't really mind that she stole it, because while I do get a decent chunk from this stuff, Echo loses a lot more from it just disappearing off the map, so whatever. We try something, doesn't work, she flashes, cool. We see that Echo actually did try to go to that side of the map. And I just check this for timer. Sometimes I check camps just to get the timer. To get the exact timer, rather. And since he walked towards here, he either ganks top, or he does Herald, or he invades my jungle, but he's not high enough elo to invade my jungle. While realizing that maybe I do something else, right? So it's most likely just going to be top or Herald, and he decides to go top, and okay, just free. This is also a part of why we took the enemy camps, because when you take all of the enemy jungler's camps, what ends up happening is that he tries to force a gank, because he doesn't know what to do and he has nothing to do. And because he has nothing to do, he's falling behind, it feels really bad, he needs to do something, he forces a gank, and when he forces a gank, he dies. Pretty simple, right? Now, where does he go? Well, he just died topside and he just did those camps. Is he going to contest here? Well, probably not. He's most likely going to go bot side. Unless there's like some kind of a specific gank or fight or something going on the map. In those situations, they sometimes just run there, but most likely he's just going to run bot side. His raptors are up, his Krux should be up, his scuttle is up bot side. So okay, let's see what we can do, right? Instantly, you see I just run here. Sadly, Trash is here, but okay. Whatever. I'll take the skill. And then I could have helped those two, but I wanted to find the echo. Here I play a bit back because I know that Kai'Sa's behind them, and I also missed my Q, which makes me lose a lot of damage. But then the Kai'Sa's just here for some reason, so I see, okay, what are you gonna do, bruh? You don't do that much damage, and I do quite a bit, so I'm just chilling and fighting. She decides to do whatever this is, so I don't know. Cool. But this is like a part of how we forced him into a forced sequence, right? Because we took his camps and we made him go to the other side of the map. So since he had to go to the other side of the map, what happened is that we knew he was on the other side of the map and we went there again. And we just kept repeating this pattern. And eventually we became really strong. And now let's do the same thing again. Let's take his camps and let's force him to go where we want him to go. Let's not give him options, right? This is a big thing that you get by taking the enemy's camps. You just get them to go exactly where you want them to go, kind of. Even though I don't have amazing farm, I only have 70 farm at 12 minutes. I do have good kills, but whatever. I don't really care about that either. The enemy jungler is completely fucked. They can't play the game for so long. Then again, I know that he can only be on the side of the map, or he runs to a fight. He ran to a fight, okay, I'll take these camps then. He has one camp on bot side, but he ran to a fight. Okay, not a problem. Like, I don't really mind it, right? Like, sometimes you're not gonna get the right track, because sometimes it's just a 50-50. This is really unfortunate. I think I could have lost the kill here, because I assumed that the blast cone might be up, but it wasn't. But I could have lost the kill because of that. If I skipped some of the camps, I could have gotten there 100%, but this guy just ended anyway. Don't use your rocket belt on stupid stuff like this, because then you will regret it when you actually need it. I wanted to ward the Herald before I base, so that I know that if that guy tries to sneak it, but I am not very good at this game, apparently. And then, okay, what camps are up? I mean, he can try to take my camps, but I already said he's too low elo for that because he's like a plat player or something. So either he does Herald, or he groups, or he does his bot side. Very unfortunate. Stuff happens. Life is pain, suffering, and misery. He does whatever this is. They do whatever that is. And then we just take all of their camps. And then now, because we did that, suddenly enemy can be forced to do stuff again. Like, for example, here. Like, okay, I didn't get to take all their camps because the enemy laners contested it. But the Echo doesn't have many camps to do anyway, so he ends up ganking again, right? Just fighting. He keeps trying to fight because of that, right? And then he's now like, oh, I take that. Okay, well, I know he's either gonna go here or he's gonna go bot side, right? And sometimes it is just gonna be like 50-50s, right? Or something. But either way is good for you. If he goes to bot side and takes Raptors, I'm just gonna take all of these camps and he's gonna basically die anyway because I get 300 gold and he loses it. And if he goes to this side of the map, then I will just kill him. So either way, he's dead, basically. Can't play the game. So yeah, some unfortunate stuff happens. And then I think there's actually not much of a point in tracking after this point. And I don't think there's much of a point in showing the rest of the squad either. It's very simple to close out. You literally just get your items, you get your Rabadons, and you just end the game. That's like the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, if your team wants to do stuff, you can do stuff as well. But mostly just keep playing the same way. Take the enemy camps when they're up. Kill the enemies when they're up because they're basically jungle camps as well. And I shouldn't have too much of an issue with this, right? So you get Rabadons, you go in, you fight, you kill, you end the game. It's just a basic kind of example guide on how you can track junglers by using some of the basic tricks of jungling, right? So in this one, we didn't really need to count the CS, but obviously if you press tab, you can see how many camps they did and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I feel like at this point in the game, it isn't even really necessary a lot of the time, though it is a helpful tool to use to aid in understanding what path exactly people did, right? Especially in higher elos. But I think in lower elos, it's not even really necessary, because as I reviewed this game right now, we didn't count enemy jungle CS like even once, because we didn't need it. Because it was like, okay, well, he did this camps, and I mean, he did these camps, and now I know that, and he is there, okay, cool. And then we ward something, okay, cool, we got vision. And now because he's not somewhere at this timing, we know that he is XYZ. And in the end, we just know where he is the whole time based on stuff that we either do know or don't know, either do see or don't see, right? And that's just how it ends up working out. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, then like and subscribe. Maybe let me know what you'd like to see next time, and I will probably see you next time, I suppose. Okay, see ya.